All right, so we just got done doing our bell ringer on finding the area of a rectangle and the area of a circle. And I just demonstrated that. So the reason why we did that bell ringer today, you guys, is because what we're going to introduce to you today is a new concept or a term called volume. Okay. How many of you are here have heard of that word? Okay, good. And what like things come up to in your mind when you guys hear that word? Like what are some things that you can think about when you hear volume? Yep, that's a good answer. Like if you were filling a pool, that would be one thing where you could use volume. Where else could you use volume? Yep, like a truckload of grain, that could be volume. What else could be volume? Yep, like a milk jug. So anything pretty much that can fill something. So if you can fill it up, the filling up the air, the volume, the amount that's filled, that is called your volume. So what we're going to learn today is how to find the volume, which you've already found how to do the area of a rectangle. So I'm going to show you. I have some crackers here, as you guys can see here. Now, if you guys can imagine, these crackers are perfectly lined up. Okay, we're going to make a new shape. Okay, and this new shape here, if you look at my dimensions, is called a rectangular prism. Okay. Okay, and that's a three-dimensional figure. It's pretty much a rectangle that is stacked up. So, like, if you think about this, can we find the area of this Ritz cracker here? And again, quick refresher from the bell ringer, it's length times width. So we can do length times width. So I'm going to draw the shape of a rectangular prism up here. So when you guys draw a rectangular prism, you guys can actually grab your piece of paper and draw it with me here. Take your ruler, and we're going to just draw a straight line here. And you're going to draw another straight line right there. Right above it, that's parallel. So they are parallel to each other, which means they will never cross. Then we'll draw two more lines that are perpendicular to those, which means it makes a right angle, but these two lines across from each other are parallel. Then I think the easiest way to do this would then be just to draw a line, three lines going up at a diagonal like that, using your ruler, and then connect the lines. Okay, and I now have made a rectangular prism. Now I can also do a dotted line here, dotted line down from this spot, and then a dotted line from here if you want to see the more of a three-dimensional figure. Okay, so if we think about this, if I have my one cracker, okay, that's the area. So let's measure. I'm going to measure this cracker. So if I had a ruler, I don't have a ruler with me. I would normally in a classroom, but I don't today. If I take this ruler and I measure this dimension and this dimension, okay, we are going to get two side lengths. Okay, here and here, we'll say it's 2 inches here and it's 2 inches here. Okay, now if you think about that, that would be area of one cracker. But now, if I stack these crackers on top of each other, what was just a flat area now has a dimension, a third dimension, and that's what volume is it's a third dimension. It's the measure of the third dimension. So now the formula for a volume of anything, we're going to do two things today. The formula for the volume of anything is the area of the base, which on this shape is a square, times the height. And the height would be how many crackers that I stack this up with. So on here it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my height is 6 crackers. Now if we measured it, it'd be measured differently because it's not actually 6 inches, but we'll just say 6 of them stacked on top of each other. Okay? So how you would find the area is it'd be the area of the base, which is as you guys did earlier, 2 times 2, that's square. So this square on the bottom where that cracker is 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So area of the base is 4 times the height. And how tall did I get? And we have to use the same measurement, 6 inches. So times 6. And then 4 times 6, or 6 times 4 is 24. So it is 24 inches squared. Now this is not a perfect problem because number one, my cracker has a little bit of dimension, but if you imagine stacking it, that is how you create the rectangular prism. Okay, so if you have a rectangular prism like this, another easier formula, instead of area of the base times the height, is just area equals length times width times height. So length could be this side. Length and width are interchangeable. Length, width, and this could be my height. Okay? So that would be how you do the volume of a rectangular prism. I'm almost to the end here. I would normally then give them an example problem and have them try it on their own and do that, but we don't have enough time for that, so I'm going to hurry up and squeak out one more problem. Okay, on the same lesson, I would then teach how to find the volume of a cylinder. So again, if you guys are doing a cylinder, we're going to do circles, do the same size circle, or actually it's more of an oval here. Do an oval here and an oval here that are the same shape, and then draw a line down from each. And I have now created a cylinder. Now I don't have any Oreo cookies, but if I did, I would do the same demonstration of stacking the Oreo cookies and showing that it created a cylinder. Okay, and if I use the same volume formula, guys, area of the base. Now, you guys, we already talked about earlier area for a circle. So if this base is a circle, the area of a circle we already talked about yesterday in the last couple of days is pi r squared. Okay, and then we're going to multiply that by how tall or how many cookies that I would stack on top of each other here. So pi r squared times the height, or it'd be area equals pi r squared times the height. Okay, and that would give me the volume of a cylinder, and this is called a cylinder. I might have spelled that wrong. Let me do a quick check. Yep, it's an I there. All right, cylinder. All right, so then I would then take my radius, which on the circle, this is my radius. So on here, the cylinder, this bottom is the radius. Okay. And then if my radius is, let's just say 2, so this is 2, and my height is 6 cookies tall, I would then just plug it in. So pi 2 squared times 6. And we're just going to leave it in terms of pi because we don't have a calculator right now. We can use one if we do these problems in a little bit so you can get the exact volume. But for right now, we would do 2 squared, which is 4, times 6. 6 times 4 is 24. So I'm going to get 24 pi. And that is the lesson. All right. Well, thank you. Hope that worked for you. Have a good one.